Welcome to Kmfbz Radio. I would like to proudly welcome Revv Von Kevv from Alien Frequency.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Come on, horns high. Welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. Thanks for having me, man. How are you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. Nice Friday afternoon. Sun is shining. Maybe expecting some rain later on, but yeah, that's Edmonton, Alberta for you.
Yeah,
yeah. The weather changes like a whore.
Yeah. That's like where I'm at. Like some days we could have the furnace running at night and the air conditioning running in the daytime. So it's, that's Ohio weather for you.
Yeah, no doubt, bud. All right, well, let's talk about Alien Frequency. If I'm not mistaken, you guys formed in 2008. And like, what influences were there among you all that formed the band? And like, how did you meet Chad? That guy is an amazing singer.
Yeah, dude's got some pipes on him. I just met Chad about 2.5 years ago. It's an interesting, it's kind of an interesting story if you'd like to hear it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I work at a Halloween attraction, the Haunted Laboratory. I've been working there since I was a kid. It's one of those where you go through and there's horrific scenery and actors jump out at you and scare you and that sort of deal.
Yeah.
And I'm one of the managers out there, and Chad was working there. It was his first year. And so I'm just we hadn't opened yet for the day. So I'm just kind of like chilling and everybody's getting their makeup done and everything. And this guy comes up to me and he's got his face painted all white, like big old nice beard going, and has like an upside down cross drawn on his forehead. I'm like, what's this guy want? I mean, he was one of the actors. He was in character, right? And just getting ready, prepping and everything. And he comes up to me speaking in Latin, and he hands me this paper with an upside down cross on it. I'm like, what the heck is, like, who the hell is this guy? And I don't know I can't remember what he said to me, but it was something in Latin again. And so I just kind of looked at him like, hey, what's up, man? And I handed him back the paper. I turned the cross right side up. That's just me. Handed it back to him. And we got to talking a little bit, and he was just telling me that he was on the floor that he worked at in the haunt. He had everybody speaking Latin, and they all had this sort of like druid kind of theme going on. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And that's how we met. Little did I know that, just as of this past February, that he would be singing in my band. So
that's cool, man.
Yeah. Prior to that, we've gone through a lot of lineup changes. In 2008, that was the first. Alien Frequency started as a solo project for me, and the first live iteration of the band that we were actually performing out was it was Chris Nupp on drums, Brian Root, who's one of my all-time best friends. He was the best man at my wedding. He was on vocals and bass. So, but things changed, people moved, some mistakes were made, lineup changes. I hate lineup changes. I really do, but sometimes they're necessary just for the betterment of the band first, friendships second. But Alien Frequency as it is now, it's the strongest it's ever been. And we're like a family. I love those guys, totally respect those guys. So yeah.
That's awesome. It's like, what influenced you guys? Like what different musical tastes formed the sound that is Alien Frequency?
It started off as a solo project for me. I think I mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
And yeah. My influences were like Old White Zombie, Rob Zombie. I love Rammstein. maybe a little bit of Typo Negative. Metallica, of course. I mean, in my opinion, anybody who's in metal, they're, even if they say they don't like Metallica, I think they're somewhat influenced by what Metallica has brought to the table of metal. That's
absolutely, absolutely. What I noticed that in the song 7 Cents, which is what we're going to talk about here in a moment. I just want to say how I compliment Chad. How it's either he's channeling his inner King Diamond when in the line, "Oh, it's too late." It sounds like he's trying to pull off some King there, and it works so well. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, Chad has he has a very eclectic as far as what influences him as a vocalist and what music he likes, and he likes a lot of Danzig. He likes Typo Negative as well. What else? He likes The Doors. And then a lot of stuff that isn't even really rock or metal that I don't really listen to, like a lot of like kind of alternative, like sort of a little bit out there kind of stuff. He may not really super enjoy me saying that, but he likes a lot of stuff that I don't really listen to, and that's totally cool, because it all kind of comes together. And yeah, as far as King Diamond, I don't know if that's really one of his influences or not. We were actually just talking about King Diamond not too long ago, and just about how it may not really be our thing, but we respect the talent, and yep. So yeah, kind of funny you mentioned that.
And you said too, you met him when he had like white face, corpse paint, and a cross. It's like,
yeah,
there's some King Diamond there, some Merciful Fate, some of that classic Norwegian black metal.
Norwegian black metal. That's a good point. Yeah.
So you just released the singles 7 Cents of Decimation. Please tell us the creative process behind.
7 Cents is the opening riff. Our drummer wrote that years ago. Our drummer plays guitar as well, not in the band, but he wrote that opening riff years ago, and he didn't really, this is talking about 7 Cents here, he didn't really have anywhere to go with it. He would play that opening riff and then just like, I don't know what to do with it. And he played it for me, and he said, if you can do something with this and make it awesome, then do that. I'm like, all right, challenge accepted. So, I worked with it for, I think, just a night, kind of worked an all-nighter on it. And that's what it came up with. And then after I wrote those main riffs for the song, I thought, oh crap, now I have to figure out how to play this live. So, that's, for me as a guitarist, that's probably our most challenging song to play. It's a lot of down picking and, just a little bit more on the technical side for us anyways. I don't really think we're that technical of a band. I like simple, catchy riffs, but that song is a little bit more of a standout to me. And then Decimated, that's the first song that I ever wrote by myself. So you're talking
like, good song, man.
Thank you.
Cheers to you.
Talking back, what was that? I'm sorry.
I said, cheers to you, man.
Oh, right on. Thank you. Yeah, that was, I wrote Decimated in probably like 2004 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I'd only been playing guitar for a couple years at the time, but I was in another band prior to Alien Frequency called Skullbone Jones and the Fancy Hat Wearing Gigolos. And awesome. It was comedy. It was a little bit sort of like Green Jello inspired, maybe a little bit of like Guar inspired, and just stuff like that. And I love that band, and I still do, but I kind of wanted to get away from it and do my own thing. I actually played drums in that band, and I started playing guitar, and within a short amount of time, I was a better guitar player than I was a drummer. So I thought, like, well, I want I want to kind of like make my own music and just play guitar. So that's what I did, and that's where Decimated came from. I think it's pretty obvious that it's inspired by like Power Man 5000, Rob Zombie, bands like that. So
My favorites.
yeah, I love those guys. Saw Power
So
Man
you're
5000 live. Go
so
ahead.
Rev, I understand you guys are working on a full length album, and I believe that the title is called Evolve. When can we
Yes.
expect the release of this album?
We want to get it out before the end of this year. We have an EP that's dropping actually today, called my mind just drew a blank. Anyway, yeah, we have an EP.
We'll post it. We'll look it up.
Yeah. No, it's called Remodulation, and that's dropping today. And what that is, it's a complete remake of our old songs. So it's like Decimated, I'm the One, Horror Show, Unhinged, Vented Soul, all those songs. It's like 7 tracks if you get it from us. If you get it online digitally, it's only 6 tracks, but you get it physical from us, you get a bonus track. But it's a complete remake of our first EP. We just felt like those songs needed a little bit more love. And with the current lineup and the way we sound now, because we have two guitar players now, before it was just me. And of course, with the addition of Chad and our new drummer and all that stuff. So that comes out today. I want to get Evolve out before the end of the year, because I would hate to think that the only new music we come out with this year is a bunch of old songs that we redid, Still, we're very proud of Remodulation. It sounds great, I must say. And yeah, the first time that's available on CD is starting today, and that drops digitally on June 18th. Evolve is about 2/3 to 3/4 done. And we have a lot of shows coming up this summer, so I don't know how much we're going to be able to work on it, but we're going to do our best to get it out probably like this fall. That'll be cool.
That would be cool. So let's talk a little bit about the pandemic. Tonight, you're playing your first concert since God knows when.
Yeah.
What has the pandemic done to music in your community?
In my community, just about every place closed.
Yeah, same here.
There were 2 venues that remained open, and I don't know how they did it. I'm not going to name the venues, because I don't know if they were breaking the rules or if there was like some kind of a loophole that allowed them to stay open. I'm not exactly sure.
A concert hall, what they might have done is if they're holding virtual concerts, the Starlight Room, prestigious venue here in Edmonton, Alberta.
Okay.
They're holding virtual concerts just in order to stay alive.
Yeah.
So that might be a possibility.
Yeah, maybe. And we did do a live show, a live stream on Halloween night in October.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before Chad joined the band. So we sounded, pretty different than what we do now. Because obviously the lead singer is sort of, the voice of the band and kind of really carries things, the overall tone of the band. Chad is, when I first started Alien Frequency, like I wouldn't have imagined that we would have a singer who sounds the way that Chad does. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But like I always imagined that we would be a lot more like the kind of, not really screamo, but sort of like death metal type vocals. And Chad has been able to incorporate some of that into his vocal style as well. So we're totally stoked about the way he sings, because he has that nice vocal range, but then he can also do the grunting.
Where are you guys playing this evening?
McAlpine Meadery. It is in Beach City, Ohio. Are you familiar with mead? Do you know what mead is?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they make all kinds of mead there. And it's the stage, quote unquote, is just kind of like a corner in the room. But it's more like a party atmosphere as opposed to like, you know, a big concert venue. Tomorrow is my birthday, so
Happy birthday.
Thank you. So we thought it'd be cool to just kind of have like a, you know, like a smaller kind of like more intimate type of a gig, celebrate the release of Remodulation and, you know, my birthday and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, McAlpine Meadery in Beach City, Ohio. It's Waste of White, which is one of my favorite Ohio bands. Those guys, they're a trio.
Nice.
They sound a little bit, yeah, they sound a little bit like Slayer, a little bit like Trivium. Really cool guys. One of the best drummers I've ever seen out of any band, like national, global, or otherwise. The drummer is amazing. And then we got Desecrate Fate, and they're just balls out heavy, you know, death metal. You know, different style than the other two bands.
I like it.
So yeah. And then us. So yeah, it's we're stoked. We can't wait.
I guarantee it's going to be an emotional evening.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm hoping that since everybody knows it's my birthday, I'm hoping that I don't get a bunch of people coming up to me saying, "Here, I bought you a drink," because I don't drink before a show.
Many years ago, something grew inside your mother. That thing was you.
Nice.
Little death clock for you, bud. So in the future, if you could tour or play a show with any lineup, who would it be, buddy?
With any lineup?
Any lineup.
So
any band you want to tour with.
Okay. So I can say the obvious opening for Metallica. I mean, it's, you know, I'd love to play with Rammstein. They are doing a stadium tour. So not that we would have a shot of getting on that, but yeah, that'd be amazing. Megadeth, and to open for Megadeth, that would actually seem a little bit more plausible, because when they play in Cleveland, they usually play at this smaller place called the Odeon, and they have had locals opening for them before. So, but if you're talking like just total fantasy, you know, I can open for any band I want, any lineup. I guess it probably would be like, you know, Metallica, Rammstein, Rob Zombie, Danzig. that'd be awesome.
That would be, man. So we're talking about Megadeth there for a minute, and I'm kind of throwing this question out there, trying to have a little bit of an understanding for myself, my thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on this woke culture stuff? Like Marilyn Manson got beaten 15 women, sexually abusing them. Dave Ellefson grooming a 17-year-old girl. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. And I know they say like, oh, well, in the case of Marilyn Manson, they say that like, you know, well, she was consenting and all this, and like, well, maybe she was consenting, but there's still the fact of what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Mm-hmm. I mean, to exploit somebody like that the way he supposedly did, which I say supposedly, but I mean probably, you know, it's just really gross. The thing with Dave Ellefson, you know, I don't really know all the details about that. I just know
neither do I. I just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. From what I heard, the female said that she was of age and that she was consenting. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. If that is true, then in my opinion, I think Mustaine kind of jumped the gun, but I don't, again, details. So, I mean, geez, Ellefson's been in the band. I know there was a time, I think in the 90s where he left, and there was, you know, they had some bad blood, but
yes,
I mean,
yes, I remember that. Dave Mustaine left Megadeth after World Needs a Hero. They came back for System Has Failed. He swiped the name from Ellefson and just had this all brand new band there with him. And
yeah,
it was a surprise.
Yeah. I'm still looking forward to the next Megadeth album.
Me too.
They're one of my favorite bands. It's still gonna sound like Megadeth.
Yep.
You know.
Well, depends on who our bass player is. I could definitely tell Ellison's style compared to the other guys that Mustaine has had.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though it was only for a couple of albums.
Yeah.
So who do you think are the most iconic frontmen and women in metal today, bud?
I really like Angela Gasso from Arch Enemy.
Yeah, I know. She's out of it, and well,
yeah.
Alyssa is a good replacement. I love Alyssa.
Yeah, damn good. Yeah. As far as women in metal, those are the first two names that come to my mind is Arch Enemy. So I love Arch Enemy. As far as men, I mean, I really liked Peter Steele from Typo Negative.
Yeah, may he rest in peace.
Yeah, what was he, only like 46?
Yeah.
That dude was on all kinds of steroids, and I mean, that sucked. I was pretty bummed when he passed away. I remember watching a Typo Negative. It was like a documentary of some of their like tours and whatnot, and he had this. It was almost looked like a tackle box, and it had like all these little plastic compartments in it, and all these different colored pills in there. And he's like, "Oh yeah, these are all legal steroids, and I take these every day." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Like it was insane. So yeah, it didn't surprise me, but I was pretty bummed. I mean, James Hetfield is always going to be one of the best frontmen in my opinion. And I still see people online, even to this day, arguing over Metallica and Megadeth. But, it's like, I'm glad that Metallica kicked Dave Mustaine out of Megadeth, because if they didn't, we wouldn't have Megadeth. Or I'm sorry, kicked him out of Metallica because we wouldn't have
Megadeth. Exactly.
Right? So, yeah. I think Danzig in his prime was a really good front man. He's kind of, losing that edge a bit now, but I guess that's to be expected. His latest album was the first Danzig album I didn't get. I sampled it on iTunes. I'm like, it's okay, but
that Elvis covers, not my cup of tea. I mean, it's good for him.
Yeah. That wasn't
Danzig sings Elvis.
Well, thank you very much.
Peanut butter and banana sandwich. So, what are your favorite movies?
I'm a Star Wars nerd.
Me too.
And and I don't care if it's the ones from the 80s or the prequels or the new ones. I love them all. I mean,
Did you not piss yourself when you watched the Mandalorian season finale? Luke Skywalker there, man. Holy fuck.
You know what? I haven't seen it yet.
Uh-oh.
But, no, that's okay, because now I want to.
Yeah.
I haven't had time to sit down and watch it all yet, but
The Mandalorian, I am surprised. Star Wars nerd, you have shamed me, sir. You made me give away a spoiler.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Like, I want to see it more now.
Oh,
so Luke Skywalker,
he'll blow your freaking mind, man. And
nice.
It's Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker in the black.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Yeah. I literally pissed myself when I saw that, man. Like,
oh, yeah.
That fucking X-Wing. I was like, no, it can't be. It can't be. I was like, holy fuck, it's Luke Skywalker all wearing all black, fucking these droid troopers up, man. It was like that scene in Rogue One where Darth Vader comes down the hallway.
Yeah.
It was just like that, man.
That kind of gives me chills. Yeah, that scene with Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One, to me, that's one of the best scenes in film. I love it.
That was better than any other scene Darth Vader ever had. We need some more like that.
Yeah, it was so violent. It was just, man.
So what motivates you daily? What keeps you, like on the creative?
Oh, that's a good question. With my regular job, I work at my computer. So, and with all of my music, I work at the computer as well. So some days, by the time I finish my regular job, I'm just done. Like, I don't want to be in the studio anymore. But I'm definitely a night person. Like, I can sit with a metronome playing and a guitar, and I'll just play for hours, just coming up with new riffs, and sometimes something great will come out of it, sometimes not. But yeah, I love the whole process in the studio. When you come up with a riff that sounds kind of like, there might be something there. But then once you double it and you pan them left and right and add some drums to it, I just love that whole process. That's I guess that's what really keeps me motivated, is just being able to create in the studio myself, because I have all that equipment myself. I don't really understand how some musicians can be playing for years and years and they never record themselves. They just play, and that's fine. Like, they'll just play in their room or whatever. Mm-hmm. I have no issues with that whatsoever. That's cool. But like, I want to hear what I did. I want to hear it back, like,
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, just when I have music recorded, whether it's some files that my drummer sends me, we do a lot of it through Dropbox, which is pretty cool.
I was just about to ask, what sound equipment do you just have to have? Like, what's your go-to stuff, my friend?
So I used to use Pro Tools. I learned music production on Pro Tools. But since like 2017, I've been using Reaper. I got tired of Pro Tools with their subscription-based models, and it got really expensive, and the system requirements started to get pretty ridiculous. Like, the last time I used Pro Tools, they were recommending that you had 32 gigs of RAM. I'm like, are you serious? Like I can edit multiple layers of 4K video with less RAM than that, but I can't run fucking Pro Tools, So
yeah.
So I don't use Pro Tools anymore. So yeah, just Reaper. To record guitars, I just use a Focusrite 2i2, because it's just me here most of the time. And then I'll have our other guitar player, Eric. What's up, Eric? I'll have him come in, and he'll record his guitar separate. We do everything separate. We're never like in the same room recording an album. We do record practices though. My drummer has it's like a 16 channel interface, and he has us all wired up into it through a computer, and we'll record our practices just so we can kind of critique it and hear, like, let's change this and whatever. But yeah, I use a lot of plugins. For my guitar tones, I use Fortin Nameless Suite. Just really brutal tones. I mean, it's like, are you familiar with Ola England on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. It's one of the plugins that he uses for his guitar tones, and I figure if it's good enough for him, then
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, Fortin Nameless Suite for my guitar tones, and what else? I use some Joey Sturgis plugins. And as far as equipment, I don't have a lot of equipment. It's all digital based, and then just have my little collection of guitars, of course. But yeah, as far as like hardware, there isn't really a whole lot. Just my computer. I use an iMac 27-inch that I just got in not even a year ago. It's badass. I got it all pimped out with like 125 gigs of RAM, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's overkill for what I do, but yeah, and that's about it. So just the little interface that I use, the computer, and then my guitar.
That's pretty cool there, Rev. That's pretty cool. So as we come to a close on our chat today, let's get a little bit of a refresher. What's on the horizon for you? You know, we got a show tonight. We got some the new album Evolve, with an EP today. What else? What's next for Alien Frequency?
We're going to be working on a music video for one of the songs off of Evolve. The name of the song is Kneel, Kneel. Mm-hmm. And the guy who does a lot of our keyboards in the studio, he's going to be filming it and editing and everything. So that's probably going to be happening, like, if I had to guess, I'm going to say in July, because June is pretty busy. We have 3 shows in June. Mm-hmm. We have tonight, and then we have June 18th at the Buzzbin. That's in Canton, Ohio. That is with Emerald Rage and I believe the Deviants. I hate when I try to list the bands, all the bands that are playing on a bill. I try to be really careful about that, because if you forget somebody, then
I know what you mean, man. It's like for myself, getting somebody's name spelled right, pronouncing their name. My biggest issue is doing interviews in other parts of the world, whether it be Sweden or Italy. It's a lot harder to pronounce their last names. It's a lot harder to, it's just hard, man. But we manage, and it's a great show.
Yeah, I feel you.
Some of that international flavor.
Yeah. So yeah, we got a lot of shows coming up this summer. June 26th at the Vortex in Akron. That's another one. And then we have July 24th at the Empire. That's also in Akron. I think August 21st. And that's what's on the docket for now. We're getting so many show offers that it's kind of hard to, like, I hate turning them down, but it's because everything, I don't know about where you're at, but everything here just opened up. Maybe like
we're closed.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
We're in hell. Save us. We're in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Send reinforcements.
Okay. See, everything here opened up like maybe 2 weeks ago. Ever since then, my inbox has just been a firestorm of just like, hey, do you want this show? You want this show? I'm like, so we took 3 in June, that's like kind of pushing it a bit, but they're all sort of like in separate locales in Ohio. So they're not like too close together, I don't think. That we're gonna be like overexposed in one area or whatever, but we're gonna kind of pump the brakes a little bit after the summer and hopefully finish Evolve and get that music video out. I'm hoping to get that done, like I said, like maybe in July. So other than that, just keep recording, keep doing shows. That's what's on our future.
Sounds good, Rev. Well, it's been an absolute honor having you on Kmfbz Radio here today. Keep making great music, keep the horns high.
Yeah.